flying by. Now, if this is your first time with us at the AgriStress meeting, we are the AgriSafe Network, and we want to welcome you. So we are an agriculture, health, and safety nonprofit, and our goal is to protect the people who feed the world, and that is in every aspect of agriculture that you could think of. Now, the AgriSafe Network does have the AgriStress helpline, which is where this meeting comes from, the AgriStress meeting, and it is now available in 11 states. It's a 24/7 crisis line, and we do have resources available by call or text. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and stay engaged with AgriSafe, we have a plethora of resources. Like, you can go to our website and get anything you could possibly imagine that is agriculture related. So you can go ahead and either scan this QR code with your phone, or you can go to agrisafe.org and find us there and all we have to offer. So we do, again, have two wonderful, amazing speakers as we do each month. I thank you guys for referring speakers to me, because it takes a lot of research to find these unique speakers, and sometimes I just don't enter the correct terminology on social media or on the internet to be able to find them. So Mr. Louis, we're going to call him Louis, he goes by Louis, was recommended to us by Miss Trish Rivera down in Texas. So Louis is going to talk to us about his personal experience with suicide prevention, and why he decided to doing something on a personal level with this. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for now, and we're going to let Louis go ahead and take the microphone. And Louis, just go ahead, since this is such a personal and passionate project for you, give us the background of your experience with suicide prevention and why you decided to start doing something about it.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here, Carrie. So I've been farming and ranching majority of my life. I put in 37 years in federal law enforcement, 8 years as a firefighter. I've lost several friends. And now that I'm retired, I do a lot of farming and ranching. One time we were running 300 head of cattle, going to feedlots and so forth, back when I was younger. But it hits hard because there's so many things that occur that have hurt friends, families, with suicide. And if we can bring awareness just to one person, that one person, that's somebody that got help. So I started posting flyers on my videos. I do YouTube and TikTok, and just a little small conversation or talking about the stress helpline, family, friends, to help. Just that awareness, just seeing something different in somebody is could help. So that's why I decided to start putting these flyers. Of course, my videos are seen throughout the world because they go everywhere. I think just the awareness of bringing it out and helping somebody that could help. So that's why I started bringing out these videos. I mean, I've lost friends in law enforcement and firefighting to suicide, and the ones that struggle are the family members. And if that one person could have just gotten some information to where a family, a friend, somebody noticed, recognized something different, that person could probably still be here. So I wanted to bring out that awareness. So I put out a little flyer here and there throughout my videos. Carrie, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. It looks like everybody's muted.
I'm sorry. I'm not a novice, but I just acted like I was. So how did you get connected with Trish and the AgriStress helpline?
I was looking at I think I had seen a video looking at some programs that the state had in advocating for suicide prevention, looking at trying to get, better equipment, trying to get more information on things like this to put out and advocate for suicide.
And so did you contact Trish or did she contact you?
I ended up contacting Trish, or I don't remember who it was, the first person I contacted, and then Trish, I think, got in touch with me and we started talking, and then she referred me over to you. And so, hey, it is what it is, as far as, these programs going on and stuff, but I don't mind talking about it because it does. If it helps that one person, that's great.
Yeah, we love everybody who's going to be proactive. I'm going to go ahead and share. All right, here. So let me go big here. So it's the first couple of minutes of Lewis's video. So he makes a lot of videos on like hay making. So that is his business, is Texas hay. And for him, adding this into his videos already is something that was very easy, I guess, to be able to do, right?
Yep, they're just putting it together and hoping you get a good sized audience.
Okay, let me think. Let me get that back up here. It wanted to disappear on me. All right.
Welcome back to the channel. Let's make some hay. This video is not monetized. Guys, I want to mention something right now. This video that I'm about to make of making hay, which I enjoy the heck out of. But this is an announcement that I want to bring out. And I hope every one of you watches this announcement, because it could save your life or somebody else's life. So please watch on. Life is hard, guys, but I hope this video will help save somebody's life or friends' lives. All right, guys, you have a blessed one. Guys, what I want to talk about for a little while is suicide prevention amongst farmers and ranchers. Sometimes life gets hard. It's like your world just closes in on you guys, and life ain't easy nowadays, especially for farmers and ranchers. It really has been easy. It's always been a real struggle. And all I have to say is that you, as friends and family and people that I've met on YouTube and stuff, for those of y'all that know me personally, 37 years in law enforcement, 8 years as a firefighter, I've lost a lot of friends to suicide. And as a farmer and rancher, we're taught by our parents to be resilient, be strong, tough, and sometimes it's hard to talk to other people about problems that you have at home. I've had one or two close friends take their own lives, and the ones that I see really suffer, guys, is the family. The families are the ones that suffer. Honestly, think about it, talk to your friends, make a call, and friends and family should see this in their friends and approach them. Hey, you doing all right? Is there something we can talk about? It doesn't hurt to ask that. And let me tell you that sometimes that makes a big difference. Let's make some hay. Well, guys, it's that time again. Nice bales, guys.
All right, we'll go ahead and stop it there, because that's the rest of it is absolutely haymaking. So Lewis is an example of something that we can do. Like, if you don't have a big organization to work with, don't think that your contribution is ever too small. So Lewis is going out there on social media, on YouTube, and creating videos and incorporating his message into something that he's already doing. So they're probably coming and watching, what Lewis is doing in the field and in the hay. But hey, guess what? They start to trust him. He's the guy that they're going to go to. And when he starts talking about mental health care, he's already got their trust. So it works out really, really well, for him to be able to hopefully change their perspectives about things. So Lewis, tell us what else is the videos mostly what you're doing? Do you do anything in your local community? Anything with other organizations?
Uh, so I have a daughter with special needs. Uh, she shows her cattle. She enjoys it. That's her getaway. We do help out a lot. My wife and my older daughter give sweaters, blankets to people during the winter. My middle daughter collected jackets that they gave to the school. I think she got over 1,000 jackets. That was the most they had ever gotten. So we do get out there and support, other community things. But you get older and you start doing your own things. You start doing them by yourself. You don't have the help to do it. So you're out there doing a lot of this, takes up a lot of your time.
What kind of
But
feedback have you received after you have started talking about it?
just the announcements, flyers. So there's one thing that I've learned in videos. People send me products to display on the channel and things like that. Normally, the statistics, YouTube has a real good program where you can see where people watch. Why did they see this? Your peaks during your videos. And so I don't like doing unboxings and things like that because some people just get negative about that. But if you throw in blurbs, you throw in little things, they're watching you, and then all of a sudden they see, hey, contact AgriStress if you're having problems, and then you go on within your video. People continue watching. So it's important to get them connected, and then all of a sudden, then you throw in your little, your product or your line, whatever, and it sends out that message, and then they just continue. But if you start out saying, like this video where I came in, I want to talk about this, about making hay. Well, that got their attention. They want to see this. You put in a short little discussion and so forth. It keeps their attention on the video, and they continue seeing. Things that I've learned, just, and friends, some people just don't say anything about it, but some people say, hey, that was a good message that you put out there, and some people will say thanks for doing it. So
That's good. So generally, you're getting a positive response.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's it's all positive. Anything that you can put out to the public that's positive and not directed to a certain thing in like politics and things like I never get into that. I don't like doing that. There's reasons why the economy here, the economy there, and this and that change and this and that, but I don't like bringing that up. It's the matter of fact is, you have an issue, control the issue, and take care of it that way, and help that person that needs help, regardless of what is going on.
Yeah. So they want to know your TikTok handle so that they can look you up.
It's the same. It's South Texas Cattle and Hay. So that one gets pretty viral. I think I have some that are 80,000, 60, 50,000. So we farm and ranch our own property. Luckily, it's all paid off. We're close to 1,000 acres of irrigated farmland. We do lease a lot of that now because my dad retired as a lieutenant colonel. My mom was an educator, and they believed in us getting an education. So as we were growing up, Dad says, move on, got to go to college. And so now, I have a brother that's a judge, a brother's a lawyer, several doctors in the family. And, but now that we're all starting to retire, we're starting to get back into this. And, we're out there making fences all together and things like that. And it's just it's a nice thing getting back together and getting back into farming and ranching again.
All right, I'm putting his handle there in the chat. Does anybody have any questions for Luis before we switch over to Kate? I'm definitely going to look. I didn't know you had a TikTok, so I knew you had a YouTube.
Yeah.
Carrie, this is Trish. I just
Yes,
want to
ma'am,
say,
go ahead.
Luis, it's so nice to see you on video. This is Trish with AgriStress Helpline at TDA in Austin. And we've had great conversations, and I just so appreciate his efforts to get the word out on the helpline. Every little bit, that boots on the ground. He is one of those local folks that really helps us get the information out. So I just want to say how much we appreciate you, and a pleasure to get to see you finally.
Well, Trish, my name on the thing is Cantu, and I think y'all have Cantos.
Oh, that's odd. Okay.
It
I'll check into that.
But
Okay.
get out.
I feel like your face and your tone and all that is very welcoming. It's very inviting. So I think you're like the perfect person to go out and be able to do this. So we do have someone in the chat. We're going to connect you. So Merle Massey wants to know if you would be interested in coming on their podcast. It's called Hey, Are We
And
Okay?
they have their hand raised too. I think if you want to unmute, you can.
Yep, go ahead,
Or do I
Merle.
have to unmute? Okay, yeah.
Hi, Louis. Oh, that was just fantastic. I'd love to hear that. So I am the executive director of the Do More Agriculture Foundation up here in Canada. And yeah, farmer mental health is a huge conversation and growing. And one of the things that I just wanted to, I don't know if you've seen the Bunny Hug podcast, the Bunny Hug Farmers podcast out of Saskatchewan. They do the same thing. On almost every podcast, they kind of stop and do a little blurb around Saskag Matters, which is a group here in Saskatchewan that connects farmers with therapists who actually understand agriculture, and they have a pot of funding to allows farmers to to enter into therapy and not have to pay so much out of pocket. Even though we have universal health care in Canada, mental health therapy isn't covered under that necessarily. So that's so it's got to come out of pocket. So I do have a wonderful question. We have launched a new podcast, and so what I would be doing in this particular podcast, I'd talk to you, I'd talk to the guys from Bunny Hug Farmers, and a few other farmers who I know have these major accounts, and every once in a while they will do either a whole special session, or they'll just kind of feed it in like you did in this one as part of something else, and just sort of have that mental health moment and kind of touch back to people. I'd love to gather up a few of you guys, interview you about why you're doing that, and what that's done, and how you feel like you're helping, because I think the purpose of our podcast is to give people ideas of easy and simple and great ideas of things that they can do to cultivate that conversation and to feel more comfortable. So I'm just kind of giving you a warning. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to ask Carrie if she can connect us maybe via email and host you on the podcast if you're willing.
No problem. Just give me some time to get it done. Yeah.
It's okay. You and I will work on that piece, but yeah, I love what you're doing. Thank you.
And Carrie, were you saying somebody had a question about rude people?
Oh, here it is. Melissa says, do you ever get any challenging and rude responses? How do you handle that?
So, you have your guys that sit in the basement of mom's house, just doing nothing but being controversial. And I've learned that, if you reply to a rude question with a rude reply, it's going to get heated. So a lot of times it's real easy in YouTube. You can just delete the question if you want. A lot of times you can just say, hey, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And that's it. I don't put a heart on questions like that, but if there is a rude question or something like that, sometimes I'll try to answer it to the best without being controversial, because it just escalates issues, if you reply back in a positive manner as to what you're doing, if they understand it, fine. If they don't, well, it's their problem, not mine. But yeah, some people just do it to be rude.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree that you can't go on social media and advocate for something without understanding some of the, yeah.
Luis, con mucho gusto, señor. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Usted?
Bien, bien, señor. ¿Cómo estás? I am a therapist that works at the VA. I also have my own private practice as an LMSW and a LPC. Do you ever integrate maybe with like Veterans Health or any of those kind of issues that are going around where you live? I know many vets go into like your father, who's a lieutenant colonel. Thank you for his service. I'm a retired captain in the Army myself. But do you ever have the ability to kind of interact with Veterans Health and Veteran Services?
I have not. I have not done any advocating for veterans or anything like that.
Do you mind if I would reach out to you?
Sure, you can.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else have any questions for Luis? Feel free to go ahead and just unmute. And I'm going to copy his email and put it in the chat. We'll also be sending out all of his information with the meeting recording as well. And I'll try to get you and Merle connected there.
Thank you. Yep.
All right. So Luis is going to stay on, or Luis is going to stay on for a few minutes. If you guys would like to go ahead and talk to him in the chat, feel free to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Miss Kate. So Miss Kate is from the Care Farming Network, and she is going to talk to us about something called Rooted in Innovation. So it's the Care Farming Network and the rise of a new kind of farming in America. So we will be interested to hear what this new perspective is. We would love it. Okay, Miss Kate, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Thank you for having me, everyone. I was also just want to put a call out. I know that there are some care farmers also attending, so really looking forward to hearing their feedback as we're a member-based organization and love to see them here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I do have a presentation and should be able to see it there.
Yep. And then, yeah, there you go.
All right. I made this in Canva. This was one of my first times. It does all of these animated things, which is fantastic, but I have no idea how I made it. So anyway, want to share with you all a little bit about our organization, but really, I mean, the purpose here is to talk about how care farms are supporting farmers' mental health by integrating, agricultural work with both therapeutic and community-based practices. I am the co-director of Care Farming Network. I myself live on a farm in West Central Minnesota and am building out my own care farm here. What we do as a network is really do some pioneering work around building this community of care farms across the United States with, I should say, a sprinkling of Canadian members as well. Really quick, just with our history, we're actually a program of a farm called Red Wiggler Care Farm. They are operating just outside of Washington, D.C. They specifically work with growers who have intellectual or developmental disabilities. They do provide employment services on their diversified organic vegetable farm and CSA, along with education, have been doing this for 30 years. Why are we a program of Red Wiggler? The founder, Woody Woodruff, received so many phone calls and inquiries from other folks doing the same type of thing, maybe in a different region, maybe with a different population, that after 30 years, he said, we really do need a network of farms to support each other, to build awareness around care farming, and to ground and root this movement. So we launched about 5 years ago. Here we go. I'll also be putting some things in the chat afterwards because care farming is a concept that is not, widely known to most people. Our definition of it here is that we use, therapeutic practices agricultural practices to promote health, well-being, and belonging on farms. You can see just some of the benefits of care farming here. I think we all know and agree that there is, this engagement, whether with soil, plants, or animals, that provides anyone, grower, farmer, participant, volunteer, the opportunity to connect with nature, to reduce stress, oftentimes to increase mindfulness. Sometimes that's just to have a stronger sense of purpose. So among our network members, you can see these benefits of having real positive effects, particularly in mental health and well-being. If you're working with folks with intellectual developmental disabilities, you're having some skill development, you're providing social inclusion. So whether they're physical, therapeutic, or mental health benefits, it really runs a broad spectrum of benefits to this integration of work with soil, animals, and plants. Really quick on sort of what we see care farming is and isn't as our network is growing. We're not just a traditional farm. There is a purpose and a structure and an intent at a care farm. And it's not just agritourism, because while agritourism is great, care farms do have a defined mission. And oftentimes that defined mission is focusing on the impact, on the growth of the participant farming, and on that social inclusion. As you'll see in the next slide, we're not just one type of model. There's lots of different populations that are served. You can do this in the suburbs. You can do it on a community farm in the inner city. You can do it in rural areas. But there is always this mutual engagement. We actually see the benefits of care farming, not just for the person growing food or interacting with an animal, but for the practitioners themselves. But the important thing to note here is that care farms do provide specific targeted support for people such as some of the participants in care farms. One of the last questions from Edward, I believe, was about work with veterans. Many care farms do work with veterans. Many care farms don't necessarily just work with one population, but with many populations. Some care farms have programs, kind of care farm programs within a more traditional farm. So I just returned from the Farmer Veteran Coalition conference, where they're talking about taking a traditional farming operation, say like a calf and cow operation, and bringing in some support for veterans to have maybe coffee and chores on the farm. That's an example of, a veteran participant in a care farm program. There's also a lot of different types of farming practices. The numbers here represent the farms in our network and what farming operation they're doing. So you can see it's largely vegetable, produce, as well as animals, but we are seeing care farmers doing hydroponics, aquaponics, beekeeping, lots of kind of diversified, tend to be small to medium-sized farm operations. And in general, we have kind of different models. I'm here really today to talk about the therapeutic and licensed therapy models. We see both licensed practitioners operating on care farms. That could be meeting with their clients on farm. And we also have the therapeutic benefits where somebody might not be a licensed practitioner, but as I said earlier, there's a holistic kind of wellness piece happening on farm, more around kind of nature-based therapy. This just gives a little bit of a history about our growth as a network. As I said, 5 years ago, we had 14 farms on our map. If you visit our website, you're going to see about 380 farms now. And why, again, does this network exist? We really believe that there's an intersection of agriculture, healthcare, particularly mental health, that is unexplored, and that there's hundreds of people, if not thousands, out there kind of doing this work. So we're building awareness around how care farms fit into this landscape. We're building community. We had our first conference this last January. We're going to have our second national conference in February. This is hard work. We already know it's hard to be a farmer. You add into that also kind of a social service mission or working with non-traditional growers. It can be even harder and more lonely work. So building that community and building the capacity of care farms to either scale and replicate or grow is really important to us. We're focusing a lot on our impact right now, particularly around the research and what it's telling us about the benefits of care farming. You can find a lot of information on our website under our online resource library. And then we're also out there. Somebody is on here doing a podcast. We're just, again, amplifying this idea of care farming, bringing it to people who aren't familiar with it, seeing how it resonates to grow this movement. Our goal is a care farm in every county. We are about 10% of the way there. So really happy to be able to present today on hoping us to get some traction and continue to grow. I just wanted to showcase, I think I have 4 or 5 different farms here listed to give you just a little bit of an example of how mental health services are provided on farms. Here's Cooper Reese out of North Carolina, kind of nestled between Asheville and Charlotte. This is a residential treatment program. And they have equine therapy. Folks will live in this transitional living for a specific period of time, often a couple of months. And then you have, activities around art and wood shop and equine therapy, and the gardens and the greenhouses where the clients, participants there are working on this farm. We have Gold Farm located in Massachusetts. They're also serving folks 18 and above who have been diagnosed with a persistent mental illness disorder. They operate a really cool cafe. They are working with animals. They are gardening. They even have a bakery on site. So weaving all of this agriculture into everyday life and client services. The therapy farm offering counseling and OT for both kids and adults. Again, you'll see this intersection of art, animals, and nature in their counseling and therapy sessions. I will note I just had the opportunity to visit Jamie Tanner, founder and of Simple Sparrow Care Farm. Fantastic place located just north of Austin. Again, doing some really neat work and research around the benefits of care farming at her operation there. I'm going to let her speak to more of that. I hope she chimes in. And lastly, Roots at Evergreen Grove for teenagers who are living in a residential facility, struggling with substance use disorder and mental health. I bring these guys up because they are having some fantastic research results around the efficacy of providing substance use disorder treatment on their farm, working with rescued animals. For us as a network, we want to show kind of the proof, the validate both quantitative and qualitative benefits to care farming. So we are supporting a lot of that research. We have had some funding through the USDA to do this. Again, on our website, as we are getting more and more research available, particularly in the US, where this has not been researched as much as in, say, Europe, where care farms are a lot better known and well-resourced. We want to become a repository so that people can go look up these research articles. And again, this is validated practice. And here's just a few, excuse me, statistics that are pulled from some of those studies. We're seeing that participants in care farming programs are having less depression and less anxiety. And we know that there's more social connection among participants who are reporting that they are feeling more connected to their community and less isolated. So this sense that care farms are fostering this sense of belonging. Also seeing physical health improvements. You move your body, you're feeling better, you're getting better sleep, you're having more appetite, you're having more energy. Specifically as statistic here around veterans and trauma recovery from the VA there, that 70% of veterans and trauma survivors in therapeutic farming programs are reporting this improved coping and reduced PTSD symptoms. Couple ways that you all can get involved. Membership is free in our network. You can be an ally and advocate. You do not have to be a care farmer. We have a newsletter. We have member monthly gatherings just like this. As I mentioned, we are having our care farming conference in February. Lots of, 30 plus breakout sessions there. It's going to be right outside of Washington, D.C. So please feel free to join us. And then here's a bunch of places, and it looks like, Carrie, you might be sharing some of these out. We're on all the social media channels and all of that jazz. So, all right, I'll stop my share.
All right, so we had a question right away in the chat. Do you have any prison farms participating in the Care Farming Network?
Yes, we do. So I'm going to start throwing a few things in the chat. If you go to our website, you can click on Find a Care Farm. Our website is carefarmingnetwork.org. And we have been building out our online map and directory for years now. You can filter by population served. And so those that have been involved in the criminal justice system, and there's support for them, you can filter by that and you can find those farms. Oh, Andre's.
So in the chat, Merle had a really good, just like a thought. She says, this presentation makes me think if farmers didn't have the amazing outside in nature work that we do, how much worse would their mental health be? So she says those scary statistics about farmer mental health show that things are rough, which we, yes, know that it's rough right now. How much rougher would it be if we didn't have access to our land and nature and just growing things in general?
Yeah, very good point. True. I mean, that's kind of the crux of, why farming.
I was just thinking the same thing because people are like, why do you do it? And I'm like, it's something in you. You just, enjoy working with the land. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions for Kate? Feel free. You can go ahead and unmute. I think Merle had a question for you as well, didn't you, about being on the podcast?
Yes, I feel like a broken record. I'm like, okay, there's another podcast episode, Kate. So I'd love to, and especially on that mental health side, right? Because that's where the Do More Agriculture Foundation sits. So thank you for showcasing those farms and those specific farms that were created to do this work. So I'd love to chat with you, and I'd like to ask you to help me connect with some of those particular farms that you showcased and build a podcast episode around that. I think it's great work. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to connecting.
Yeah, that's one of our big feathers in our caps here with the AgriStress meeting is that we love being able to connect everyone. Like if we don't know about these programs, you might not know about these programs. So let's get everybody connected. We're all working towards the same goal, right? So let's work together. So I love that connection part. Anybody else, feel free to go ahead and unmute and ask Kate any questions that your heart desires.
Kate, I just retired from the University of Maine at Augusta, and we started a small garden with non-traditional students, the faculty and staff worked with them. That to me seems sort of like what you're trying to do with that. Do you think that they're going to try to expand it? I'm going to take this information and give it back to the staff. Does that seem like that would fit into like the care network? Because these students come from low income, disadvantaged, disabled backgrounds, and they're
Yeah,
connected.
again, if you check out our map, you can kind of, I think it's just under youths is one of the populations served. And again, if you have a program that is intentionally providing support services, often to those that are underserved or marginalized, by all means, you can add your farm to our map. We also have a link on that Find a Care Farm page where you can submit that. And reach out to me directly too. Happy to talk. There's quite a few members in our network who are doing what sounds like very similar work to what you're starting up. So one of the benefits I think of the network too is to learn from others. I always like to say that care farmers are some of the most generous people with their time and energy and just sharing of ideas. So happy to connect you with some other folks there too.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I think Andrea put the link in the chat. So she says, here's a list of our map. I'm assuming that that's the correct one here. And then she did just add another one, Care Farm Directory and map.
Yep.
Awesome.
Kate, great, fantastic work. I actually just completed a 25-year career with the VA, and I think it was Edward who mentioned earlier, but during my career, worked a lot with therapeutic horticulture. I'm a physical therapist by training, and also the Aqua Center in upstate New York, they did a study and just how effective that care is for a veteran population. I've actually pivoted now to run a telephysical therapy practice, and I'm working in the rural areas of New York State. And I'm just curious to know how much physical health gets into the care farms list, the menus of services per se. One of the things that I've unfortunately seen a lot in my career is, a farmer or agricultural worker will have a physical injury that takes a toll on their mental health, and then, that becomes very challenging for them. And so my goal is to reach them as early on after that injury as I possibly can. I just worked with a dairy farmer last week. I was giving him care while he stood beside his manure stirring pond, and we did his exercises there, because they can't take a lot of time away from their work, and so I want to be there for them. So I'm just curious about how much the farms do incorporate a physical health component.
Yeah, good question. I will say, we've been more involved. We got in touch with Agribility as a partner, who I'm sure you're well familiar with. Also attended their conference, hope to be presenting at their conference next year. I think when it comes to specifically those struggling with some of the more the physical side of thing, we don't have as many farms specifically for that. I will say we have a lot of examples of, say, adaptive tools for people who might need some such support in terms of like how they're holding tools or whatnot. So I think I should probably bring this back. I know Andrea's on the call here, who is the other co-director of CFN. And we've talked a lot about kind of, population served, whether that, somebody specifically just with a physical disability would be a care farm. So stay tuned on that. We absolutely see the need, and it kind of pops up among other farms that we're working with, but not necessarily solely based on physical disability. And I bring Agribility up because I think that's an organization, kind of a sister organization, if you will, of where we might direct somebody for some additional support to check out.
Well, if I can support you anyway, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. I will say we have many of the care farms are working with like PTs or OTs too on farm. And we're encouraging farms to like reach out to either extension or their local university or something, giving those with training such as yourself the opportunity to come on farm and either do an internship or support them with services. So lots of area for kind of collaboration.
Good,
We
thank
do
you.
have a question in the chat. Do farms have medical directors?
Some would. So not all care farms would. I think it would be dependent on whether or not they're operating as such that they might need one. I do think like some of the larger farms will have a medical director, if that is a population that they are serving, but not necessarily all.
Excellent. Anybody else want to unmute?
I was wondering if Jamie, or I saw Amy Grace on here. Hi.
Yeah,
Just
if you
saying
guys
hi.
have anything that you want to say, feel free.
Carrie, I wanted to mention, I forgot that my wife and I have another YouTube and TikTok channel. It's called Texas Dragon Fruit.
That's right. You grow dragon fruit as well.
Yeah. So we do have a TikTok and YouTube channel on that.
That's excellent. I just went and followed your hay one, so I'll go to the dragon fruit one. All right. If nobody else has any questions, we'll go ahead and end our meeting today. And remember that we will send an email out, usually 24 to 48 hours. We'll have the meeting recording link. We would love for you to share that with your colleagues. And, if you have anybody that it would be interested in sharing their project or their experiences, we're always looking for 2 speakers every single month. We will also send out both Louise and Kate's contact information and their handles and links and all that. So you'll be receiving that here in just a couple days. So we really enjoy that you guys come every month. You guys, we had 89 live attendees this morning, so that it's excellent that we are still going strong. After all these years. So thank you so much for that. And I guess we'll see you in December. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Luis.